ladies and gentlemen, there was an independent probe into the death of Elijah McClain, and they concluded that there was wrongdoing on the part of the police and paramedics. And I do agree. And if you remember, shortly after he died, the police did a video mocking his death. And I'm going to say this again. White people, you have no business patrolling Black people, not with your kind of history, because your history shows over and over that you are never going to do the right thing. Now, this man was just walking home from a convenience store when someone called in a suspicious Black man. You know how that is. Only we're suspicious. If a white man is walking down the street, that's normal. If a Black man is walking down the street, that's suspicious. These people are just too much. I don't blame Stevie Wonder for moving to Ghana permanently. Colorado police and paramedics. So this is NBC News, February 22nd, 2021. Colorado police and paramedics who stopped Elijah McClain made a series of crucial errors that ended the young man's life in 2019. The findings of an independent probe revealed on Monday Aurora police had no justification to stop or use force to detain McClain, and responding paramedics that sedated him without conducting any more than a brief visual observation of the 23-year-old man. According to the panel of medical and legal experts appointed by the city council, which commissioned the report, McClain was stopped on August 24th, 2019 in Aurora by officers answering a call reporting a suspicious person in the area. Yeah, you know what they mean. Black means suspicious. The initial stop of McClain was questionable as none of the officers, they knew they weren't looking at no crime. And y'all need to start slapping fines on these people that are making these kind of phone calls. This is exactly what happened to Tamir Rice. Somebody made a phone call and that kid ended up dead. Some of these people need to be heavily fined when they are making a phone call and there's no crime going on. Okay. The initial stop of McClain was questionable as none of the officers articulated a crime that they thought Mr. McClain was committing or was about to commit, the report said. So when you observed him and you noticed no crime was going on, you should have just kept going in your patrol car. All you saw was a young Black man walking down the street. If you didn't see nothing more than that, there was nothing for you to do. This decision had ramifications for the rest of the encounter, according to findings. A chokehold was used during the confrontation, and then he was injected with ketamine, with the authority believing that he was in the state of excited delirium. Who made that observation? Seriously, who made that observation? That don't even sound right. Sound like some crap you made up. And posed a threat to officers, authorities have said. Okay, so he was in an excited state of you see what kind of lunacy they use when they're dealing with us? Based on the record available to the panel, we were not able to identify sufficient evidence that McClain was armed and dangerous in order to justify a pat-down search, the report said. The panel also notes that one officer's explanation that the Aurora police officers are trained to take action before it escalates do not meet the constitutional requirement of reasonable suspicion to conduct a stop or frisk. The 5'7", 140-pound McClain was given ketamine And it would have been proper for a man that weighed 190 pounds. So they really overdosed him. So he's 140 pounds, but got the dosage for somebody that was more like 190. According to the panel findings, Aurora Fire appears to have accepted the officer's impression that McClain had excited delirium without collaborating. All right, so they tried to use that, and initially, that diagnosis that they gave was acceptable. But after they looked further and did an investigation, they realized what they said didn't fly. Excited delirium. These people are so, oh man, they need to just leave us alone. In addition, EMS administered the ketamine doses based on grossly inaccurate and inflated estimates of Mr. McClain's size. So they made him seem like he was way bigger than what he was. But they do that with our children. If you remember with Tamir Rice, who clearly looked like a child, they tried to say he looked like a grown man. And when you look at all pictures of him, he looks just like a child. Okay, higher doses carry a higher risk of sedation complications, for which the team was clearly not prepared. So they didn't know how to do their own jobs. Okay, I mean, let's just put it out there. They did not know how to do their job, which I have seen these people function on jobs. They don't know how to do their own job. McClain lost consciousness and was taken off life support on August 30th. So y'all killed him. The EMS killed him. The young man's death gained national interest over the summer in light of George Floyd's killing in Minneapolis, as millions of Americans took to the streets protesting police brutality and systematic racism. And this is definitely a case of systematic racism right here. Elijah McClain. Monday's report, though, stopped short of blaming implicit bias for McClain's death. Looking at the single incident, the panel has insufficient information to determine what role, if any, bias played in Aurora police officers and EMS personnel encountered with McClain, according to the city commission experts. And y'all need to look at the background of all of these arrests. These same officers and EMS showed up on the scene, and see how many other people they did stuff like this to. You can best believe this is not the first time, but they were so reckless this time, they got caught. However, research indicates factors such as increased perception of threat, perception of extraordinary strength, perception of higher pain tolerance, and misperception of age and size. Over the summer, though Colorado became the first state to end the so-called qualified immunity, a legal principle which generally shields police officers and other government employees from being held personally responsible in civil court. So good. I'm glad Colorado don't have that qualified immunity. And Elijah's family should get a huge settlement because they killed him unjustly. They did. And he was not committing a crime and should have never, ever been stopped in the first place. This whole thing don't make sense. But then again, neither do these people that think they got a lord over us. They never make any sense either. They don't make a lick of sense. But always trying to bother somebody and make accusation. They got a persecution and a God complex. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.